Boy, do I have an episode for you guys. I think it's very safe to say, although I've been nursing an injury behind the scenes, and that's a-okay, guys, I'm doing much better, so no worries there. I've been really busy trying to pick up another project for the channel. But, as you will see here in a second, it is not an easy process, especially if you live within the Rust Belt area. Guys, for those of you that don't know, I'm coming to you from New Jersey, and unfortunately around here, anything that's nice and has got a body on frame will rust. Guys, I've been on a rampage looking at used vehicles, and what you're gonna see here is perhaps a good guide for those of you that are in the market to buy a used vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is the Vikings Garage. And stay tuned, because with this, you guys will see what direction I'm actually trying to take the channel to. That's quite the list back there. I wonder what that's all about. So, for me at least, with these particular V8s, the engine itself, they're pretty stout. There's not a whole lot for one to worry about. I mean, look at this, battery hold down, you're already winning. You got the negative cable still attached, it's just small little details. But with these, the biggest piece of advice I can give you guys is you do not want the ones that have the hydraulic suspension. When you know what I'm referring to. None of that stuff is here. This is the one you want. That's just me, because the hydraulic suspension, they can be finicky, and then you got to deal with it. But you want to look at things like fluids. Like you look at the coolant. The coolant is very low on this reservoir. If you pay close attention on that bottle, it's very low. You can look at things like that. This is a good thing. This is, to me, it's actually a plus. Yes, it's been 14 years since the timing belt was done, but it was done. It was done at 224. This vehicle, it's got 270,000. So that's not the end of the world, but you want to look at things like the oil level. So let's shut it off. We'll let the oil reach its level a little better, but you want to look transmission fluid. You want to look at the color, right? This is good. Looks good. Smells good. You can oftentimes tell if it's burned or not, but you got the level. This one looks like it's more or less over there. That's not a terrible thing. It looks clean. I did not see leaks underneath. But then again, dipstick comes out. That's good. It's got oil. This is the kind of stuff you want to see. You want to buy a vehicle that you can actually measure your oil level. Pulley looks like it's beating up the belt a little bit. This belt is looking a little frailed here and there, but again, this vehicle actually has been sitting at this dealership for about a year, and I'm going to show you exactly why. I put the image there that of the bottom of the vehicle, the way it looks, but here's the exact reason. Come down here, it looks really good, right? Pay close attention to this area, right? Now go lower, as low as you possibly can, and look at that corner. Do you see it? See the corner of the body? That's why. That is exactly why it's here. It does have a leak also. They're notorious for leaking from the sunroof. And here's a telltale sign that you've had water inside the vehicle. If you look at that, the bolts on those front seats, that's a telltale sign that there's been lots of water inside this vehicle. Again, the water can be corrected. The problem is then you start beating up on just the components. Still a great vehicle. We're going to show you guys can't show the mileage because it's dead. That's great. So it's got 270,000 miles. Let me bring you back here and I'll show another point of failure with these. Yeah. It's you can't even open it. Take a closer look here. The lever is completely gone. This is supposed to be a lever here. It's completely gone. So you can't even open this hatch. Guys, welcome to the reality of buying an older vehicle here in the Rust Belt. This is basically what you're dealing with. I can guarantee you, I didn't even look yet, but you can tell. Same kind of problem here. That's a very common problem with these. Those corners just about disappear. And what they do is they patch them up. And we both know that's temporary fix. So fairly clean interior. I'll give it to him. Seat is kind of like disappearing a little bit, flaking away, but it's actually not too bad back here. It's nice leather condition. Can't get to the trunk because, as you saw, it's kind of locked up. Paint starting to flake because, again, this car's been sitting here, and that's kind of bound to happen. That's just things that you're gonna get with age. The antenna, they never work. It's fairly common. And you do have a bit of a failure here with the gasket on, which I literally just pushed in. The gasket was sticking out. They're probably gonna stick out again as you're driving. So these are all small little things you gotta pay attention to, especially when you consider how much they want for it. So for us, it's a no-go, but I'll leave you guys with this one. Take a closer look there. See that guy? Yep, he's dancing the Macarena. All right. So today, a really quick few top tips for those of you that are out there looking to buy an FJ Cruiser. I'm going to show you really quickly if this particular one is going to be worth your time or not. Okay, so this particular one today that we're checking out is a 2010. I would normally recommend you guys to look at 2011 to 2014 because of the update on the engine, and you get a little more torque and also better gas mileage, although we all know this is not why we buy these vehicles. But today I'll give you guys some pointers on what you should be looking at when you're looking to buy one of these FJ Cruisers. First things first, this particular one, it is running. You will see that it has one warning light, gas, that's pretty obvious, needs a gas, that's no big deal. That one is actually something you can work the price with. So the TPMS sensor warning light is on and solid. That means that you obviously going to need either 1, 2, 3, or all 4 TPMS sensors. So with that being said, next thing is, as you see there, it was 187. When you take a closer look at the oil change sticker, this is to me a little alarming because it says 168. It's fine, they'll take my word for it. So if you got 168 on the sticker with 187 on the cluster, what's happening here? This vehicle hasn't had an oil change in 20,000 miles. That's a little alarming. Definitely important. When you look down here, this panel, oftentimes you can see an array of switches. This is good. You got plenty of variety. It has 8-track, yes. Rear diff, that's a plus. Parking assist is also good, but this one, like I'm going to show you guys here on the mirror, if you pay close attention on the corner of the mirror, super small, not that crazy of a camera, but you'll notice that it does have a reverse camera. On these FJ Cruisers, that is always a plus. So as far as the interior goes, you could also check this particular case. We're going to go ahead, put the AC on, and just confirm that indeed the AC is working. So that's a good thing. Not a whole lot to check here. I would check wear on the steering wheel. Very common. You guys will see, depending on the owner, they'll put some wear on the steering wheel. And yes, the leather is pretty beat up, as you see there. These are all things that you have to be okay with if you decide to purchase the vehicle. And once again, work on the price for that matter. This particular one, you can see right here, was smoked on. Smells like it. And when you look at the headliner, shows it. Needs a little bit of a cleaning and definitely smells the part. You can see a little bit of tar right here in this area from obviously the driver. But let's go ahead and check out under the hood. Yeah, this guy right here is stuck. We're gonna go to close it. It's not gonna close. We're gonna have to massage it back with a screwdriver. Again, this is something that you can totally work onto the price. Don't personally like this. I like to install my own stuff. This to me would be not something I favor on. Spaghetti, you know, I like Italian food, just not on my FJ Cruisers. Another thing you want to check and if you want to go ahead and focus down here, is you want to start checking your pulleys and whatnot. If you pay close attention, you'll see that this one will have movement. It is very obvious that you're going to need some pulleys here. I could also start this vehicle and you will see that they are making noise. I heard it from the inside. But most importantly, you want to check some items that are directly related to your maintenance. And being that we saw that sticker, we want to go ahead and check this oil. Is there any oil? That's going to be kind of important. So let's go ahead. With the dipstick clean, we reinsert it. There's no oil. Guys, this is, as far as I'm concerned, I'm done here. 20,000 miles later on this dipstick, and this dipstick has no oil, I'm good. You should be good as well, but we're not going to stop here. We're going to go ahead, check some more obvious things. Filter, which anybody should be able to change. They went ahead, they changed it. That's cool. Very nice. They took that step. Don't know why they couldn't change the oil, but it's beside the point. Let's go ahead and take a quick look on one of the most important things. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab the camera here. And if you guys pay close attention, this timing cover is very much leaking. You see it right there near the power steering pump. That's a very common issue, and this one is no exception. All right, so another point you want to check on these is back here. You want to come over here. So you see this lever? This lever is actually getting stuck. It's kind of a normal thing. They tend to get stuck and you got to work it back out. That means it's going to need a lever. It's you know, one expense, but you want to look at rust for sure, because they do a lot of the times they rust. The points where this mounts, they will rust. You're going to take them out. If they break off, something to take into consideration. Not much to see here. This was not properly installed. I'm going to go ahead and just confirm the tools are there and install this cover like it's supposed to. Now it's flush. Comes with the subwoofer, not a deal breaker. There's a dent there, although today is a bit of a bad day for this, but and there's a scratch here. Super hard to see, but there's a scratch that's going along this side. So guys, another super important point here. These oftentimes have to be taken out for the windshield to be replaced. This windshield is definitely aftermarket. You can see it there. That is aftermarket, and this is not properly installed. This will fly off as you're driving down the highway. So this would have been obviously a problem. And you can see it as the maintenance been done. No, I mean, this vehicle has clearly not been maintained whatsoever. But let's go ahead, check underneath here. This is pretty much a common sight, at least for me. It's very rusted underneath here. I don't see like severe rust, but I can tell you these control arms are going to be a problem. And who knows how those front brakes are. But yeah, these are things you definitely got to take into consideration. You got to see the condition of the undercarriage, not only on one side but the other, and take your time, because this can turn this into a very expensive ordeal very quickly. For instances, I can see that front differential is pretty much soaked and wet. Why that is, we would need to figure out. Guys, this particular one, I actually traveled 80 miles to go check it out, and it was very highly misrepresented on the head. I noticed that to be a very common thing, not to mention the sales guy was on top of us the entire time, basically just hovering over the vehicle. But as you guys can see here, a little bit on the fast kind of way of shooting things. My brother got you some images here, so you can kind of see how they were trying to mask a lot of this rust, but it will show through in a second. Yeah, so we're over here trying to check this 2007, and let me just show you guys the carnage here. Take a look at the top of these areas here by the strut towers. Like, guys, come on. You don't want to buy this. I mean, this one, for once, it's actually not leaking there. That's the least of our worries. The question here is this one going to have oil? For starters, I can't even get the dipstick out. That's a bad sign. Yeah. See that? You want to... Look at this. Yeah. I don't even want to go there, but You look on the other side, it's the same exact story. This thing is completely wired through. This gives you a good idea of what's happening underneath. And yeah, look at this negative cable, completely broken off. This is a telltale sign of what's the cap is loose. That's always nice. All right. So let's see what's what, right? Okay, let's take a look. See if this thing's got the important sauce, right? Trim pieces. Oh, see? So, yes, I know, she's upset. This is usually where you would find the front and rear diff lockers. This particular one is actually not a total loss. You come over here, and if you notice, it does have the center one. So this is not a complete loss, but it's a matter of finding out how much he wants for it. But let's go ahead and take a look at the other one, because there's another one here. So the story on this one is a little spotty. It is my understanding that it will run, but they are not entirely sure on the condition of the engine. I personally have to say I am very much attracted to this particular platform, especially when you consider the options that it already comes with on this particular one. That is a nice rack, no pun intended, and definitely kind of cool that it has a snorkel. I didn't even know that these could come with a snorkel. It's one of those deals. It's the same thing, you see? No front and rear is just center. So it's your typical thing. This one does, body-wise, when you look underneath here, I'll show you real quick. These are things you want to look at. We're gonna see if we can look over here. See this? This is more or less what the bottom of this vehicle is looking like. Not to mention the back bumper, when you look at it, is completely falling apart, coming off. So this one is a bit more beat up body-wise. Straight six engines here, as bulletproof as they are notorious for all sorts of oil leaks, so you got to be very careful with that. Jeez. Somebody left this thing. Ay, ay, ay. Gotta cover this up, man. You never want to leave that exposed like that. Safe to say this thing's got lots of moisture now. But yeah, that's that. This is definitely a project and a half right here. Let's go. You ready? Wow. It's close too. Jeez. Wow. Hey, he wants 20 grand though. What do we think? What do we think? That's a diesel. 3 liter. If I'm not mistaken, it's a straight 6. Yeah. Right-hand drive. Jeez, look at this. Look at the size of these freaking window visors, man. Good God. That's wild. No, it's cool though. Yeah. Make sure you get the back there. That's definitely a little sun faded. Yeah, these things are cool. For sure. We did come to look at a Land Cruiser, guys. This is not the one, but what do you guys think? Should I get this? Diesel? We like diesel. All right. So here's another option. And this one has also been in the back of my mind for almost a year now. Believe it or not, I've been offered this vehicle. But there was one very, very big reason why I was hesitant on purchasing it. As you guys can see here, is a good friend of mine. Super nice guy too. This would have been a really cool project for many reasons. Mainly because this is one of the highest mileage V8 4Runners that I know of. I will have to ask, so I can put it in the corner of the display here, how many miles it does have. But the problem lies right here. Check it out. So here, guys, let this be the perfect example And then some people that said, oh yeah, the AC drain, it doesn't do anything. Well, it starts here because the water is running inside this frame, okay? Pay close attention. This thing is literally separated. It's just, oh my God. This is a lot of, oof. As you guys just saw, this is not an easy process. Guys, do not put up with this kind of nonsense. If it shows that much rust, walk away. Vehicle wasn't properly maintained, walk away. It's going to start costing you tons and tons of money. Why do you think I have that list back there? You might want to stay tuned to the next episode because I did end up buying one of those vehicles. By the way, the list that you just saw was a compiled. I saw, I believe, was 6 different 100 series. I can go ahead on record and say I'm no longer looking at 100 series. I give up. I'm done. I did like that one beige 80 series, but you guys tell me in the comment section what you think. Would you like to see that in the channel? And also, of course, stay tuned because just because I bought a project doesn't mean I'm not still looking. So, on that bombshell, if you found this content to be useful, as always, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you haven't done so, and you don't want to miss any more of these useful tips, don't forget to subscribe. Show this channel the support that it needs in order to continue keeping its doors open. And until the next time, guys, I will catch you guys on the next one. I wonder which one I bought. Actually, I do know. I got the keys right here. But you're going to have to stay tuned.